This week on the White Knuckle Web Show, I start making the preparations on my secret kill plot.
Behind me here, actually right here, is where Katie shot her buck this year during gun season. And ever since we sat out here on it, I realized with a south wind on the opposite side, right where we were sitting below, there's a nice tree up there with tons of cover still. And that is where I'm gonna have a tree stand this fall. So my goal in here today is to expand this food plot, which means all this brushy stuff here behind me has to go. I'm gonna cut these trees down, and because of where I'm at, pulling stumps is just not a possibility. So what I'm gonna do is just cut the trees off, leave a foot out of the ground, and then I'll come back in here later and flush cut them as close as I can, and then I'll mark them, so when I plow, I'll just plow around them. And that's what I'm gonna start doing. That was not intended, but got the job done. Just wrecked the LED screen on my camcorder on like the second shot of timber work. So if that's any sign of things to come. I'm gonna take some of these trees out, just do one at a time, kind of sit back, visualize for where I want to have stands, blinds, whatever. I want to keep some of these trees. I don't want to just bald it out, but there's several of these that are just garbage trees that are going to end up dead anyway, so I'm going to take them out.
My goal with this kill plot is to keep it relatively small, keep most of the cover around it, and force everything within bow range within a couple of key stand locations. The bigger you go, the harder it is to control the animals using it.
I am back out here with a bunch of thorns, I'll tell you that much. There's thorns everywhere. Brought a rake today so I can hopefully pull thorns out of the way after I get done cutting, because right now I have a hard time getting into any of that. You can cut that stuff, it's so nasty. So anyway, here we go.
This is the time of year I really like looking at the trees I may be hunting later this fall. Once everything greens up, you really have a hard time knowing what's going to have cover come fall and winter, and I have been duped too many times.
One more section cleaned out. Not a lot of brush and crap to remove. This is the not so fun part. But I'll bring my Coons mower in here, mow all this brush, but first step is just getting the trees out. So. Well, I got my first field tilled up yesterday afternoon, and I honestly, I don't know, this is probably a 2/3 acre little plot right below my house over there. I just got to get this stuff tilled up. We got a storm coming in this afternoon, so I'm just trying to get a little bit of work done.
I think I enjoy this aspect of hunting anymore as much as I do the actual chase. Owning a farm gives me some flexibility and habitat manipulation that I've never had before. I have found each year I learn so much about my farm and the deer that use it. I have no choice but to keep evolving my tactics year after year.
I'm out clearing number 3 for the day, and you can see behind me, it's some beautiful dirt. Tills right up. That's some black Iowa gold, baby! I just got done tilling, and this is probably my best dirt. It is perfect, black, delicious. You may be able to see some leftover beans here, but because I just had to cut the beans, this is what it's all about. This is why Iowa is able to grow as big a deer as we do. The never-ending quest for the perfect deer hunting property continues. I'm cutting down some pine trees and creating some paths, major travel corridor paths, places, things that I can control. So here we go. Merry Christmas, everybody! I basically created a travel corridor right through there. Goes all the way through the main center of Death Row and then on to the next field, and it will allow me to, what I've kind of been doing here on my property, I've got all these pines, so I've been creating scrape rows, like literally they can't resist having all them scraping trees. So I just have one after another, and then I have a central scrape tree in the middle that I call central scrape, and I try to put all the trails and everything right to that same tree. Today the planting will begin. I've basically tilled up all these fields now to where they're still a little clumpy. So I'm going to pull this drag. Basically I have a skid on top of just a standard chain drag that you can buy anywhere. And for the last pass through on these seems to work really good. So that's what I'll be using today. And then I'll be putting some seed down and then cultipack, and then I'm done. So my goal is to get 3 plots done today. Here we go. About half of it done, and you can see the clear difference. All it does is it takes any of these bigger chunks, helps break them up, and creates a flatter surface, which creates more surface area for your seeds to have contact with, and that means you'll get more seeds to grow. And just, if you want good looking plots, you got to do the details. It's all in the details. More plot here behind me. This one is another little kill plot. They do sun hemp along here for cover as well. And this isn't as good as soil, so it can use some a little bit of extra nutrition this fall. But primarily I'm doing this for cover down through here as well as food. So we'll see what happens.
Guys, I know I may be getting pretty specific on this stuff, and many of you may never have even planted a food plot. I just want to know that all the time and energy I spend creating these plots will result in good growth, so I take time to do the details.
So today I'm planting sun hemp and Deer Pea Plus. I'm using the catalog right here. Tecumseh, by the way, has one of the best food plot seed catalogs ever. It has all the information you need. The Deer Pea Plus is going to plant, 11 pounds, plants a half an acre, and sun hemp plants 8 pounds for half acre. So got my 6 pounds measured out. Make sure it's closed before you start dumping it, by the way. All right, so now I got my sun hemp in here, and I'm ready to start spreading. My big old bag of Tecumseh Deer Peas Plus. Now, if you've never seen a deer pea like I hadn't up until just a few minutes ago, they look good enough to eat. There's a variety of different seeds in here. I'm putting 8 pounds of this in. It's supposed to be 11 pounds a half acre, and this is about a third, but I'm double seeding it. So I'm seeding these underneath sun hemp. So I'm going to spread them a little thin. 8 pounds should do it.
I also tend to use a hand spreader on most of my kill plots so that I can better control the seed I lay down and not overseed one particular area. I make pass after pass to ensure that I've got even coverage, laying less seed down per pass to ensure I have enough to cover everything.
That right there is the last mission. I've tilled it, I've fertilized it, I've drug it, re-fertilized it, and now I'm gonna roll it. So I've got fresh fertilizer, fresh seed. Now I'm gonna punch that seed in the ground, and when we get some rain, give a little burst with some fertilizer right off of that. And hopefully that will equate into some sweet food plots. That is the end result. Look at that beautiful brown corduroy. That's what you're looking for. Seeds are touching some soil. Now we need a little rain. First one of 3. I got 2 more to do, and work till dark, man.
If you use an ATV or side-by-side for doing your food plots, do yourself a favor and check out Knuckle Engineering. They make the best food plot equipment for the money, and the stuff is absolutely built to withstand years of abuse. Thank you for watching the White Knuckle Web Show. Next week, we continue the pursuit of the ultimate whitetail habitat.
At White Knuckle Productions, we hate blatant sponsor plugs. Instead, we'd rather let the product speak for itself. I feel that a subtle approach is just a little bit better way of showcasing the product. The big buck professionals of Tecumseh, they have a website. It's tecumseh.com. You can access that via your personal computer or your mobile device. It says right here, Tecumseh products are tested nationwide under virtually all soil and weather conditions, and it consistently will produce results that many find simply astounding. I don't know about you, but I think the product is spoken.